The wind screamed across the frozen plains of Thalora, a barren world on the edge of the outer colonies. Doctor. Elias Kane tightened his heavy coat against the icy gusts, his boots crunching on the thick crust of ice that covered the endless expanse. He had been sent here months ago to study the strange magnetic fields that shifted unpredictably across the planet. It was quiet, almost eerily so, and the silence pressed on him like a weight, broken only by the occasional crack of the ice below. Elias loved the solitude of research missions, the way they forced him to focus on discovery. Something was stirring in the distance, something too small to see at first. He squinted against the blinding sunlight reflecting off the ice. Two tiny shapes darted across the horizon, moving in erratic, panicked patterns. At first, he thought they might be some form of wildlife native to Thalora. But their movements were too coordinated, too deliberate. They ran toward him, tiny glimmers of light visible even from a distance. Elias lowered his pack and activated his portable scanner, hoping it would tell him what he was looking at. The screen flickered, picking up strange readings. Thermal signatures, yes, but unusually small, no more than 20 centimeters high. They emitted a faint bioluminescence, like fireflies trapped inside translucent skin. He watched as they stumbled through the snow, their tiny limbs struggling against the harsh wind. One of the shapes tripped, rolled across the ice, and then scrambled back to its feet. Elias felt a strange pang of sympathy. Whatever they were terrified, and they were moving toward him as if they had no one else to turn to. "Hello?" he called, his voice muffled by the wind. "Can you hear me?" The smaller figure froze and tilted its head. Its body shimmered in response, almost as if it was trying to understand him. Then, a soft, musical voice filled his mind. It was not heard through ears but somehow transmitted directly into his thoughts. "Please. Human." Elias stumbled back, his hand flying to his chest. Telepathy? That was impossible. Yet the words were clear, urgent, and full of fear. I can hear you," he whispered aloud, his voice shaking. Where are you from?" Danger. Coming. Fast," another voice replied, this time from the second figure. The twins, he realized. Two small beings, connected by something he could not yet understand. Their fear was contagious, making his own heart beat faster. Elias knew he should be cautious. The colonies had strict rules about contact with alien life, and the scanners had never registered anything this small or intelligent. But something in their voices, pleading, desperate, moved him. He stepped closer, holding his hands up to show he meant no harm. "All right," he said. "I'll help, but you have to trust me." "Can you do that?" The twins hesitated, their tiny bodies quivering in the cold. Then, almost simultaneously, they nodded. Elias blinked in surprise. Nod. Telepathy. These beings were more intelligent than he had imagined. "Follow me," he said, keeping his voice low. "I'll take you somewhere safe." The twins moved quickly, surprisingly agile despite their small size. Elias followed, scanning the ice for any sign of danger. But the wind was relentless, cutting at his face like knives. Snow swirled around them, and visibility dropped to almost nothing. For a moment, he thought he might lose them entirely. Then, the smallest twin stopped abruptly, raising an arm. Its bioluminescent body glowed brighter, casting strange shadows on the ice. A crackling energy field shimmered faintly around it. Elias froze. "What is that?" he asked. "Protect. Safe. Nest. Hurry," the twin replied, its voice trembling with urgency. "Before they find us." Who's after you?" Elias asked. But the twins didn't answer. Instead, they motioned for him to follow, darting toward a ridge in the ice. He ran after them, slipping and sliding, fighting to keep up with their tiny but astonishingly fast movements. At last, they reached a fissure in the ice. It was narrow, barely wider than Elias's shoulders, but the twins squeezed through with ease. They stopped on the other side, beckoning him to enter. Hesitating for only a moment, Elias crawled through the opening. Inside, the temperature was warmer, almost unbearably so compared to the frozen desert outside. The walls of the cavern glowed faintly, lined with crystalline structures that pulsed with soft, radiant light. The twins moved to a central chamber, where a shallow pool of liquid shimmered with colors Elias had never seen before. "This is incredible," he muttered, his scientific mind racing to take in everything at once. "What is this place? Home? Safe? For now," the twins replied. "But not long. Danger comes." Elias looked at their faces, if they could be called faces. Their features were delicate, almost fragile, but intelligent. Every movement, every gesture seemed filled with thought. Despite their size, they carried themselves with a dignity he had not expected. "What kind of danger?" he asked. His curiosity and concern warred with the voice in his head, warning him to be careful. The twins exchanged a glance, then turned back to him. "Predator. Massive. Hunts all. Species like us. Unstoppable. Only hope. You." Elias's breath caught. "Wait. What? How do you mean, only hope me?" "You. Human. Key. Survive. Help. Protect." Their words came faster now, more insistent. "Activate. Defense. Machine. Hidden. Beneath ice. Save. All." He felt a chill. Not from the cold, but from the weight of their words. He had known humans were explorers, innovators, capable of remarkable things. But to hear that his species could be the deciding factor in saving an alien civilization, it was almost too much to grasp. "All right," he said carefully, trying to steady his voice. "Show me. Show me where this machine is." The twins' bodies glowed brighter, and one extended a tiny limb toward him. Instantly, images flooded his mind, a map of tunnels beneath the ice. Rooms filled with strange technology, pulsing crystals, and a massive device that seemed to hum with energy. He could feel the urgency, the fear, and the hope of the tiny aliens, as if it were his own. This is incredible," Elias whispered. "How did you build all this?" "We, old, knowledge, protect, life, until you came," they replied. "Predator, senses, energy. We cannot fight. Alone." Elias sank to his knees, overwhelmed by the responsibility suddenly placed on him. He had studied alien life, encountered countless unknown species, and faced dangers before, but never like this. Never had he felt the fate of an entire species, perhaps even a planet, resting on his shoulders. The twins moved closer, brushing against his hands, and a wave of warmth passed through him. Despite their small size, they radiated an energy that filled the room. Hope, trust, a bond forming that transcended species, language, and understanding. Elias knew he had a choice. He could leave, report the findings, and survive. Or he could follow the tiny twins into the unknown tunnels, risking everything to protect not just them, but potentially countless others. I'll do it," he said finally, rising to his feet. "Show me the way. I'll help you." The twins' glow intensified, and a faint hum filled the chamber, vibrating through the ice and into his bones. Their faces, if faces they were, expressed gratitude and relief. But Elias noticed a shadow cross their forms, a flicker of fear that reminded him of the danger still waiting outside. "Quick! Before! Predator! Finds. Us. One of the twins urged. Time. Short. Must. Move. Elias followed, scanning the walls as they guided him through winding tunnels of shimmering ice and crystal. Every step was tense. Every shadow potentially hiding danger. He had no idea what awaited them. But he trusted the twins. And more than that, he felt a sense of purpose he had never known. The deeper they went, the warmer the air became, the ice giving way to glowing crystal formations that seemed almost alive. The twins' light illuminated hidden glyphs etched into the walls. Symbols Elias had never seen before. They pulsed faintly, reacting to his presence, almost as if recognizing him. Human. Understand. Machine. Key. Activate. Protect. The twins repeated, their voices urgent yet steady. We rely on you. Elias swallowed hard. The responsibility was immense, but a spark of determination ignited in him. If humans were capable of incredible feats, if he could use his knowledge and ingenuity, maybe, just maybe, they could survive this threat together. As they approached a final chamber deep beneath Thalora's icy surface, Elias felt a shiver run down his spine. The twins hovered at the entrance, their glow brightening with anticipation and fear. Beyond the doorway, he could see the faint outline of the ancient device, its energy humming softly, waiting for someone to awaken it. Elias took a deep breath. All right, he said. Let's see if we can save your world and maybe mine too. The twins floated beside him, their tiny hands brushing his arm. Together. Human. Together, they said. And with that, Elias stepped into the unknown, ready to face the challenge that would change everything he thought he knew about courage, humanity, and the universe. The chamber beneath Thalora's ice was larger than Elias had imagined. Its walls shimmered with colors that no human eyes had named, and strange crystalline formations pulsed softly, casting dancing lights across the floor. The air was warm and strangely sweet, filled with an energy that made his skin tingle. The twins hovered near the entrance, their tiny bodies glowing brighter with each step he took deeper into the cavern. Elias marveled at the sight. The technology here was unlike anything human engineers had built. Crystal panels hummed with energy, conduits of light snaking across the floor and walls. Small machines, no taller than his arm, floated in the air, adjusting the glow and pulse of the crystals as if the entire chamber were alive. This is incredible, Elias whispered, running a gloved hand along one of the glowing walls. You've created all this, and it's been hidden under ice for who knows how long. The twins nodded, their light flickering with emotion. Long, many, generations, protect, survive, waiting. Elias felt a chill despite the warmth of the chamber. Waiting. That word carried weight. Something so dangerous must have been hunting them for ages, if they had hidden in secrecy for generations. What is hunting you? He asked, keeping his voice low. You mentioned a predator. What kind of creature is it? The twins exchanged glances, and then, as if reading his thoughts, one raised a tiny hand. Instantly, images flooded his mind. A massive, shadowy figure with multiple limbs, sleek and merciless, prowled across a starfield of icy worlds. Its eyes glowed faintly, and wherever it went, entire species vanished. Elias staggered back, gripping his knees. It hunts all life, energy, cannot fight, one twin said. We cannot stop alone. Elias struggled to speak. Wait, energy? It feeds on energy? Yes, the other twin replied. Stars, crystals, life energy. Grows stronger. Unstoppable. Elias sank to a nearby crystal pedestal, trying to process what he had just seen. He had studied dangerous creatures before space predators, hostile wildlife, but nothing on this scale. The thought that humans might encounter such a being without even knowing its existence chilled him to the bone. "Why me?" he asked finally. The twins floated closer, their glow intensifying. "You. Species. Connection. Key. Past. You. Awaken. Defense. Only humans can." Elias frowned. Humans were capable of amazing things, but he could not imagine what they could have done to create a connection with a creature like this. And what was this defense? How could humans help when even the twins, brilliant as they were, could not fight this predator? "Show me," he said slowly. "I need to understand." The twins moved toward a crystalline wall at the far end of the chamber. One of them tapped the wall lightly, and the crystal rippled like liquid. Images appeared in the air, floating above the pedestal. A holographic map of tunnels, chambers, and strange symbols shimmered in the soft light. Then, another vision, this time, a massive device buried beneath layers of ice, connected to the energy of the planet itself. The machine? Yes, activate. Repel predator. Protect. All, the twins said in unison. Requires human, key, knowledge, courage. Elias swallowed hard. The responsibility weighed on him more heavily than the icy wind outside ever had. A human key? Courage? His mind raced. How could one human, one small human presence, make a difference against something so enormous and relentless? The twins sensed his doubt. He nodded slowly, taking a deep breath. "All right. I trust you. Tell me what I need to do." The twins hovered beside him, their light flickering softly as they explained. The device beneath the ice was an ancient energy matrix, built by their ancestors to protect the galaxy from the predator. It had been dormant for centuries, waiting for the right beings to awaken it. But the matrix required a human's biological and mental signature to interface fully, to harmonize with the energy of the planet. Without that connection, it would remain inert, useless, against the approaching threat. Elias realized the weight of their words. If he failed, it would not just be the twins' species in danger, it could be entire star systems. He had faced challenges before, but never one that demanded his very life to ensure the survival of others. We, prepared, for long time, cannot. Alone. The twins repeated. Only you, human, can. Awaken. Machine. Elias clenched his fists, feeling a surge of determination. Humans were explorers, inventors, problem solvers. He had been trained to face the unknown, to find solutions when nothing seemed possible. If this was the test, he would not back down. "Show me the way," he said. "I'll do it." The twins' glow brightened, casting brilliant light across the chamber. They led him through winding tunnels, each turn revealing new wonders. Crystalline conduits pulsed with soft energy, and tiny floating machines hummed as they adjusted the light and temperature around them. Elias felt like he was walking through a living organism, one that responded to their presence. Finally, they reached a grand chamber, far larger than the last. In the center, encased in ice and crystal, stood the machine. It was immense, towering over Elias, with intricate patterns and glowing conduits that ran across its surface. The air vibrated with energy, and he could feel the hum of power even from several meters away. "This is it?" he asked, awe in his voice. "Yes. Activate. Energy. Repel predator. Protect," the twins said. They floated closer, their tiny hands brushing against the icy casing of the machine. The energy from their bodies seemed to resonate with it, sending faint waves of light across the chamber. Elias approached cautiously, studying the symbols etched into the machine. They were complex, yet elegant, and seemed to react to his presence. When he touched the surface, he felt a strange warmth and a pulse that seemed to reach into his mind. Suddenly, images of galaxies, star systems, and alien civilizations flashed through his vision. The machine was connected to the energy of life itself, a network designed to protect and preserve. He understood now why the twins had sought him. The machine required not just technology, but a human mind capable of reasoning, improvising, and connecting with the energy of the universe. Only a human could harmonize the device, using creativity, courage, and intelligence to guide its power. Elias stepped back, taking a deep breath. "All right, I'm ready. Show me how to connect." The twins hovered around him, guiding his hands and thoughts. Slowly, tentatively, he reached out and touched the machine again. The energy surged through him, warm and intense, and he felt a strange connection to the planet, the twins, and the device itself. His mind expanded, linking to the ancient knowledge encoded in the machine. He could feel its purpose, its history, and its potential. This is incredible," he whispered. "I can feel it. All of it. Yes, you, human, key, awaken, protect," the twins said. Their voices trembled with excitement and relief. But as Elias focused, a sudden warning flashed through his mind. The predator was near. Its presence was massive, overwhelming, and growing stronger. He felt the pressure of its approach even through the energy of the machine. Time was short. Hurry. Must. Before. Predator. The twins urged. Every second counts. Elias nodded, feeling a surge of determination. He would not fail. He had trained his entire life for moments like this. And now, the fate of not just the twins' species, but potentially countless others, rested on his shoulders. Together, they began the process of activation. The twins guided his hands over the intricate patterns, their glow intensifying with each correct motion. Elias focused his mind, connecting with the energy of the planet, harmonizing with the pulses of the crystalline network. Light surged, and the chamber filled with a hum so deep that it seemed to vibrate through his bones. Suddenly, the machine responded fully. Energy surged outward, coursing through the tunnels, resonating with the crystals, and spreading across the planet. The twins hovered beside him, their bodies glowing brilliantly as the machine came alive. Elias could feel the energy of life itself flowing through him, connecting him to the universe in a way he had never imagined. The twins' voices filled his mind. "You did it. Human. Machine. Alive. Predator. Stop. For now." Elias sank to his knees, exhausted but exhilarated. The weight of responsibility lifted slightly, replaced by a sense of accomplishment. They had bought time, and perhaps saved countless lives. But even in that moment of triumph, a shadow lingered in his mind. The predator was not gone. It had been repelled, yes, but it would return. And there were other forces in the galaxy, other dangers waiting, that humans had not yet encountered. The twins sensed his thoughts. Not. End. Yet. Danger. More. Coming. Must. Prepare. Elias nodded slowly. He understood. This was only the beginning. Humanity had been thrust into a larger universe, one filled with threats and wonders beyond imagining. But he also knew that together with courage, ingenuity, and cooperation, they could face whatever came next. He looked at the tiny twins, glowing beside him, and felt a bond stronger than words. Small as they were, they had shown him the power of hope, trust, and intelligence. And he knew that, for the first time, he truly understood what it meant to be part of something greater than himself. Elias Kane, human explorer, had stepped into a universe far larger and more dangerous than he had ever imagined. And thanks to two tiny alien twins, he was ready to meet it head-on. Elias Kane stood in the glowing chamber, catching his breath. The machine hummed softly, still alive with the energy of the planet. The twins floated around him, their tiny bodies pulsing with light, as if celebrating the first victory. But Elias knew it was not yet over. The predator had been repelled, yes, but it was still out there, somewhere, growing stronger with each passing moment. "We must move, human," one twin said urgently. "Predator senses energy, returns faster." Elias nodded. "All right. Show me the tunnels. We need to be ready if it comes back." The twins led him through winding corridors beneath Thalora's ice. The tunnels were narrower now, forcing Elias to crouch, and the crystalline walls reflected his flashlight beam in every direction, creating endless reflections of his own face. The air was heavy with energy, pulsing faintly under his skin, and Elias felt a strange connection to the planet growing stronger with every step. "This way," one twin whispered, floating ahead. "Hidden chamber. Supplies. Defense. Ready." Elias followed, slipping on patches of ice and ducking under jagged formations. He realized that despite the warmth of the main chamber, the tunnels were treacherous. One wrong step could send him crashing into sharp crystals or icy floors. But the twins moved with effortless speed, guiding him carefully, their light always illuminating the safest path. Finally, they reached a small cavern, barely larger than Elias's research pod. But inside, it was filled with alien technology. Floating tools, energy packs, and tiny devices that pulsed with a faint glow. The twins moved to the center, hovering over a small console embedded in the ice. "This preparation essential," one twin said. "Predator returns need ready." Elias examined the equipment. The technology was far beyond anything humans had developed, yet it was surprisingly intuitive. Small drones floated silently, waiting for commands, while crystalline panels displayed shifting data streams that the twins seemed to read effortlessly. "What can I do to help?" Elias asked. "Tell me, and I'll do it." The twins moved closer, guiding his hands over the panels. "Activate. Monitor. Predator. Detect. Approach. Warn. All. Species." Elias followed their instructions, touching the crystals and adjusting the floating controls. Each action caused a ripple of light and energy throughout the cavern. He could feel the system responding to him, connecting him with the tunnels, the machine, and even the planet itself. The connection was growing stronger, almost overwhelming, but Elias kept his focus. Hours passed, or maybe minutes. Time seemed different here. The twins floated beside him, giving quiet encouragement. Then, a sudden pulse of energy surged through the tunnels. Elias froze, his heart racing. "Something coming," the twin warned. He peered down the corridor and saw a shadow moving beneath the ice. It was massive, far larger than anything he had imagined. Its body shimmered faintly, and its eyes, if they could be called eyes, glowed with a cold, calculating intelligence. "It's the predator," Elias whispered. "It's back." The twins shivered with fear, their glow dimming for a moment. "Faster. Human. Must. Prepare." Elias nodded and activated the monitoring system. Holographic images of the predator appeared in the air, showing its position and projected path. He could see the energy it was absorbing, the ice it was melting, and the tunnels it was crushing in its hunt. "We need trap, guide, predator, into chamber, human, use, machine," the twins instructed. Elias understood. They needed to lure the predator into a controlled area, where the machine's defenses could target it without risking the entire planet. It was a dangerous plan. But the alternative, letting the creature roam freely, was unthinkable. He began setting the traps, using both the alien technology and his own ingenuity. He modified the drones, programmed the energy panels, and synchronized the crystalline conduits with the machine's pulse. The twins hovered nearby, their small hands brushing against his arms, lending him guidance and reassurance. As he worked, the predator drew closer. Its massive form moved through the ice tunnels with terrifying speed, crushing anything in its path. Elias could feel its energy pressing against his mind, a cold, overwhelming presence that made his skin crawl. "We almost ready," one twin whispered. "Human. Courage. Needed." Elias took a deep breath, steadying himself. He had faced danger before, but nothing like this. The predator was intelligent, relentless, and far stronger than any single human. Yet he also felt something else, a spark of hope, born from the trust of the tiny aliens and the connection he had forged with the machine. Finally, the traps were set. The monitoring system was fully activated, the drones ready, and the crystalline conduits humming with energy. Elias glanced at the twins. "We're ready," he said. The predator appeared in the corridor, its massive limbs crushing the ice as it moved. It paused, sensing the energy of the machine. Then it advanced, drawn toward the chamber. Elias's pulse quickened. This was it, the moment of truth. "Now, human, activate." Elias reached out and placed his hands on the crystal console. Energy surged through him, connecting his mind to the machine and the planet. He felt the pulse of life itself flowing into his veins, and a wave of understanding filled his mind. He could sense the predator's path, predict its movements, and guide the energy to contain it. The predator lunged into the chamber, sensing the traps. But Elias was ready. He focused on the energy flow, directing it precisely. Light and power erupted from the machine, surrounding the predator with a barrier of pure energy. The creature roared a sound that shook the ice and struggled against the invisible walls, its massive body thrashing. "Hold. Steady. Human. Focus," the twins cried. Elias's muscles burned, and his mind screamed with the effort of controlling the energy. But he did not falter. Every lesson, every moment of training, every bit of human ingenuity flowed through him. He harmonized with the machine, the planet, and the tiny twins guiding him with their light. Slowly, inexorably, the predator's thrashing slowed. The energy barrier contained it, holding it at bay without destroying it. Elias could feel its immense power, yet also its limitations. It was strong, yes, but the combination of human determination and alien technology could restrain it. The twins floated closer, their light brightening as the predator struggled. "You. Human. Amazing. Courage. Hope," they said. Elias exhaled, exhaustion flooding him, but relief followed. The predator was trapped, at least for now. The tunnels hummed with the energy of the machine, resonating through the planet and stabilizing the chamber. The twins' glow radiated with joy, their tiny bodies dancing in the warm light. "We saved. For now," one twin whispered. "Thanks, human. You, protector." Elias nodded, still catching his breath. He knew the victory was temporary. The predator was intelligent and relentless. It would not give up easily. But for now, they had survived. They had bought time. And in that time, they could prepare for what was coming next. As the adrenaline faded, Elias looked at the twins. Despite their small size, they had shown courage, and wisdom beyond measure. They had trusted a human, relying on him to guide the machine and protect their species. And in return, he had found a purpose greater than any research mission, greater than any solitary exploration. But even as he stood there, exhausted yet determined, a thought chilled him. The predator's appearance was only one part of the danger. Its sudden return, the energy it sought, and the precision of its movements suggested intelligence beyond instinct. Someone, or something, was guiding it. And that presence, Elias realized, might be watching them even now, waiting for the right moment to strike. He glanced at the twins. Their tiny faces, delicate yet filled with fierce intelligence, looked back at him with trust and hope. Elias knew that whatever came next, they would face it together. Humans had the ability to adapt, to invent, and to overcome. And now, with the guidance of these brilliant alien beings, he was ready to prove it in the most extreme way possible. For the first time, Elias Kane felt not just human ingenuity, but human heroism flowing through him. And he knew that the universe was far larger, far more dangerous, and far more amazing than he had ever imagined. The predator was trapped for now. But the race against time was far from over. The trapped predator thrashed inside the crystalline barrier, its massive form shaking the ice tunnels beneath Thalora. Elias Kane stood nearby, his hands still resting on the console of the ancient machine. Sweat ran down his face. Though the chamber was not hot, his heart pounded not from fear, but from the effort of holding the energy in balance. Every second counted. One misstep, one lapse in concentration, and the predator could break free, destroying everything in its path. The twins floated beside him, their tiny hands brushing against his arms. Their light pulsed with encouragement, reassuring him, reminding him that he was not alone. Focus, human, steady, machine, energy. One twin urged, its voice calm yet urgent. We, with you. Elias nodded, taking a deep breath. He could feel the pulse of the machine in his hands, a rhythm synchronized with the planet itself. The predator's energy surged against the barrier, a cold, overwhelming presence that tried to overwhelm his mind. But he drew strength from the tiny aliens beside him, from the knowledge that countless lives depended on his courage and ingenuity. He adjusted the crystalline conduits with precision, redirecting the energy flows, stabilizing the barrier. The predator roared a sound that echoed through the ice tunnels, shaking loose small shards of crystal, but Elias held firm. We must finish. Human. Now, the other twin whispered. Activate. Full power. Machine. Focus. All. Elias nodded again. He placed both hands on the central console, feeling the energy surge into him like electricity. It was overwhelming, but he welcomed it. For a moment, the world disappeared. All that existed was the pulse of the machine, the presence of the predator, and the tiny glowing aliens beside him. Then, a vision flooded his mind. He saw the predator, its massive body thrashing helplessly, the energy barrier glowing brighter and brighter around it. He saw the machine connecting to the tunnels, to the crystals, to the energy of the planet, spreading its power like ripples in water. He saw life on countless worlds, planets full of energy and potential, protected by the network the twins' ancestors had built. Elias understood what he had to do. He focused all his strength, directing the energy precisely, guiding it like a river of light toward the predator. The machine responded instantly, glowing with a brilliance that made the chamber seem alive. The predator roared again, but this time, it was different. The energy did not harm it, but contained it, guiding it into a smaller chamber, designed for maximum control. The creature slammed against the walls, but the machine's power held it firm. Elias could feel the balance of forces, the delicate interplay between control and energy, and he adjusted with careful precision, moving every flow, every pulse, every ray of light exactly where it needed to be. The twins hovered beside him, their glow reaching a dazzling brightness. You, human, amazing, protector, life, hope, they said. Their small bodies radiated joy, and for a moment, Elias could feel the relief and gratitude pouring into him like warmth. Hours passed, or maybe minutes. Time seemed to stretch differently in the presence of such immense power. The predator finally slowed, its massive form trembling but unable to escape. The machine hummed steadily, its energy flowing in perfect harmony with Elias's guidance. He could feel the life force of the planet, the tunnels, and the twins synchronizing with him, creating a shield of protection that no predator could breach. Almost. There. Human. Last. Step. One twin whispered. Elias focused every thought, every ounce of energy. The machine's pulse grew stronger, brighter, until it seemed as if the chamber itself was alive, radiating light across the icy tunnels. The predator roared one final time and then, exhausted and restrained, ceased its thrashing. The barrier held perfectly, and a calm settled over the chamber. Elias fell to his knees, breathing heavily, his hands still on the console. The twins floated beside him, glowing softly now, their tiny hands brushing his arms in gentle reassurance. You, human, saved. All, species, thanks, they said. Their voices were quiet now, filled with relief and awe. Elias looked at them and smiled tiredly. We did it. Together. I couldn't have done it without you. The twins' glow brightened in response, as if smiling. They hovered closer to the predator, their small bodies radiating a strange energy that seemed to communicate calm. The creature's eyes, once full of rage, now reflected curiosity and wariness. Its immense form contained safely by the machine. This is only temporary, Elias said aloud, still feeling the surge of energy in his veins. We've contained it, but it will try again, and there may be others. The twins nodded. We know, but hope, human, courage, protect, universe. Elias realized they were teaching him something important. Courage was not just about strength. It was about action, intelligence, and the willingness to face danger for the sake of others. Humanity had always possessed that courage, he realized. But now, he had seen it in full. As he rose to his feet, Elias took a deep breath and examined the chamber. The machine's light had settled into a steady pulse, synchronized with the planet. The tunnels seemed calmer now, the energy stable. The predator remained contained, its massive form looming silently, but at peace for the moment. The twins hovered near him, their small hands brushing his shoulders. You, human, great, hero, protect, all, life, they said. Elias smiled faintly. I just did what I had to do. Humans are capable of incredible things when we try. The twins floated closer, their light merging around him like a soft halo. We see, now, humans, worthy, allies, galaxy. Elias felt a warmth he had never known. For the first time, he understood that humanity was part of something much larger, a network of life and energy that stretched across the stars. And he knew that courage, intelligence, and cooperation could make a difference, even against the most overwhelming threats. But just as relief washed over him, a shadow flickered in the corner of the chamber. The twins stiffened, their glow dimming slightly. What is it? Elias asked, his voice tense. Not predator, alone, watcher. Others. Wait, one twin whispered. Danger. Still. Far. Hidden. Elias's heart froze. Even after this victory, the universe remained vast and unpredictable. The predator had been contained, yes, but it was clear that intelligence beyond instinct was guiding it. Someone or something was watching, waiting for the right moment to strike. He looked at the tiny twins. Their small hands brushed his arm, their trust unwavering. And in that moment, he understood. Humanity had a role to play in the galaxy, not as conquerors, not as observers, but as protectors. With courage, ingenuity, and cooperation, humans could face dangers far beyond their understanding and emerge victorious. Elias straightened, determination burning in his eyes. "We'll be ready," he said. "Whatever comes next, we'll face it together." The twins' glow brightened again, their tiny voices filled with hope. "Together. Human. Together," they said. Elias smiled faintly. The predator remained contained, the machine stabilized, and the universe, for now, was safe. But he knew this was only the beginning. Humans had been thrust into a larger reality, one filled with challenges, wonders, and threats beyond imagination. And he was ready. For the first time, Elias Kane felt the full weight and thrill of responsibility. He was human, yes, but now he was also a guardian, a protector of life, a bridge between worlds. And in that role, he could face anything. As the twins hovered beside him, glowing softly in the chamber, Elias made a silent promise to the tiny beings who had trusted him, to the machine that hummed with life, and to the countless stars above. Humanity would rise to the challenge. Humanity would endure. And humanity, no matter how small or uncertain, could make a difference that echoed across the universe. The predator, trapped for now, thrashed faintly but could do nothing. Elias watched, alert and ready, knowing that vigilance was as important as courage. He felt a surge of pride, not just in himself, but in his species. Humans were capable of incredible acts, of heroism and ingenuity, of facing the unknown without fear. And as he gazed at the tiny twins, glowing like living stars beside him, he realized something even greater. Hope could come in the smallest forms, courage could shine in the darkest moments, and humanity, together with allies, no matter how small, could triumph over even the most terrifying threats in the universe. The chamber pulsed softly with energy, the predator contained, the twins safe, and the machine alive. For the first time in countless generations, the tiny aliens of Thalora had hope. And for Elias Kane, humanity had proven itself worthy of that hope. Together, they had faced the impossible. Together, they had won. And the universe, vast and mysterious, had taken notice.